I want to welcome you all for joining us today for the You, Me, and Tuscany Global Trailer Launch Event. I'm Jacqueline Coley, editor at Rotten Tomatoes, and today I am joined with our cast. We have stars Halle Bailey, Regé-Jean Page, director Kat Coiro, and producer Will Packer. Hello, everyone.
What's up, Jack?
Hi.
Oh, I'm so excited. Everyone who's watching has already seen that trailer. They've seen the vibes, they've seen the lack of clothing, and I'm going to start. I'm going to start with you, Will, because this is someplace I've seen you play in as a producer and throughout your career. But what does it feel like to come back and what I would consider a classic version of a rom-com that really harkens back to some of our favorites?
That's literally what we wanted to do here. And I've done some things in this space, nothing like this before. Nothing like this with the backdrop, with the wish fulfillment, like this, as you know, I made Girls Trip, right? And the whole point of that was like, what is the most fun trip that you can have? And that one was in New Orleans. We took it to a different level with Tuscan.
Yes.
And so when you see the way, first of all, we were having so much fun in real life on this set. And I always feel like with a movie, you can tell when the energy is organic and when the energy is real. And so we were there, and in between a whole lot of wine and pasta and beautiful vineyards, we managed to shoot a really fun movie.
I know. I'm like, I know that you're a very talented producer, but I'm seeing the location thing happening right here. He's like, yes, we're going to do another trip and we're going to make it so sumptuous and delicious. And part of the way they do that, Kat, is with this cast that y'all assembled. And I do have to talk about it because it is such a homey, but also like zany movie. And it definitely makes you cry at times. How did you know this would be the pair that would be able to bring that in? Because as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, of course. But
There was literally nobody else. This script came to us and we talked about Halle, and then we said, if Regé says no, we can't make it. We need them. And they delivered on every front. I mean, it's so fun to work on something that is so romantic and beautiful and non-cynical and funny.
yeah. And both of you, Regé and Halle, like, this is nothing new. We've fallen in love with both of you on screen several times and several different characters. But I'll start with you, Halle. What was it about this particular project that sort of drew you in? Considering, let's say, you've done some innings here already.
Yes. Oh my goodness. I truly wanted to be a part of this project because when I read the script, I was like, this is a movie I want to watch with my sister. This is the movie I want to be with my girls. Like, oh my gosh, do you see him? Like, this is a movie that makes me feel good. It's joyful. And then also, I was really inspired to play Anna's character. And I was really inspired by her journey that she goes on with her passions and finding herself and what she wants for herself again, and that self-doubt that creeps in and how she gets her power back, as well as how inspired she is by Reggae's character. I mean, there's so many layers to this film that's so beautiful, and I was just very grateful to be a part of it, to be honest.
Yeah, both of you. I'm grateful for both of you saying yes, because I agree with Kat. Like, let's get this together. We couldn't do without it. But Regé, it was so funny when I was chatting with you a minute ago. You had mentioned that what drew you into this was actually something a little bit deeper. Like, there's a lot more to this.
Everything.
Yeah.
I think people give rom-coms a short rap sometimes, but what happens when you stop telling love stories? And first of all, one of the reasons you do this is because it's incredibly easy to fall in love with Halle Bailey. But there is something about the energy that this woman brings to set is so light, so full of love, so lacking in cynicism in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
In an industry and a business that gets tough, you get long hours, it gets touchy, and then the value of what that brings to a set is that in order to fall in love in this movie, like the entire acting technique, it's not Stanislavski, it's just paying attention to Halle and just falling into those eyes and letting it roll. You know what I mean? You were talking about you can tell when it's real. There was a kind of a scene that I saw in ADR last week where I think there was more from between the takes than from in the take, because that was a fun day. And there are times when if you're bringing enough of yourself to it, then the audience will receive it. And it's just, that's the gift we want to give people, that joy. But I think that where the layers are is that beneath all of that fun, when you stop making rom-coms, you stop making movies where people resolve their problems by talking to each other. And I think that is something we've lost. And the whole kind of, they don't make them like this anymore. What they don't make is movies where people talk. and figure out who they are and fall in love because of who they are and overcome the obstacles because of who they are, as opposed to just who punches hardest with the most CGI. See what I'm saying?
Say it again. Say
Yeah.
it. Listen, as a woman that was raised on Wilder and then later movies like Mahogany, I'm just so excited to see this. You know what I mean? Like just an old school, again, rom-com. It's amazing. Halle, I want to talk to you though, specifically about the fact that while we're in this journey with you of self-discovery, girl, you get to go into the kitchen. Because that's
do.
another thing. Like I'm thinking of like Under the Tuscan Sun or Eat, Pray, Love or like Water for Chocolate. And you get to bring that again, the deliciousness, the luxuriousness. Talk about your culinary moments in this.
Oh my goodness, I was so excited to be able to play someone who loves making food, a chef. She's very passionate about it. And, you know, I have things that I'm really passionate about. Singing and music is one of them. And it was kind of really beautiful to kind of pull from where your inspiration and passion comes from, and how like that fire that you may have in doing music or singing in a recording studio, that person who's, you know, making the food, they have that same fire, that same want, that same kind of greed and need for this hunger that lives inside of them. And so discovering that within Anna was a really fun thing for me to try and do. And it was fun to take cooking classes. I mean,
Are you cooking on your own now? Like what's
yeah,
what's
well, I
Chef
always
Halle's
loved to
cooking?
cook anyway.
Okay.
Like, but now I feel like after coming back from Italy, you guys, I'm like professional.
Oh.
I'm like, I have it together.
All right, we're gonna
You
talk
know,
about
Halle has Southern roots. So
Yeah.
you combine that now with that European flavor, like we all going to Halle's house.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is now where the
Mhm.
meals are going to be served.
Yeah.
I would like an invite. I know that it's not there yet, but I would like what I would just say. Kat,
There is a
it's
universal love language, is food.
Can I just say, we had a chef, an Italian chef on set, and he would stand next to me at the monitor when she was cooking and go, "Ah, bellissima." He just thought she was amazing.
I mean,
You
he
know
gets-
you're killing it. When you get the Italians to
Yeah.
be
Mhm.
impressed, come
Yeah.
on now.
And they are not easily. Kat, I want to talk about that though too, because the movie does have a lot of tonal shifts, and it goes to a lot of different places. I mean, wacky madcap adventures, and then very serious, heartfelt moments. How did you keep that tone balanced with, again, these incredible actors who can go to so many different places, but keep it authentic?
Well, my job really is easy when I have great actors. I have these two, our whole Italian supporting cast, also real actors. Like the woman who plays the mom is like, you know, an Italian film icon. We just have such a great grounded cast where we're never pushing for comedy. You know, the comedy arises out of the situation and out of the realism, I would say. So my job is really easy with these guys. One thing I will say tonally that was interesting, and part of why Halle is literally the only person on the planet who could play this role, is her character does absolutely crazy things. Things that, you know, most actresses, you would kind of start to say, oh, I don't know about her. She's a little crazy. And with Halle, you're kind of like, yeah, that's what you do. Oh, it's fine. I accept it.
Yeah.
And then the counterpart to that chaos comes with Regé-Jean's natural groundedness. And I always say in a rom-com, it's so important that it's not just one person gaining love, it's the two people gaining the missing parts of themselves. And so the energy between them was just, I didn't have to do much.
Oh, I love it. And I was
She
actually
is not being fair, of course, because Kat has a very, very difficult job. But a lot of it was because there was so much good stuff that happened, right? You hear Regé talk about like stuff that was happening between the takes. When you have that kind of energy, it starts at the top. It starts with Kat setting like a very comfortable experience. Yes, we were in Italy, we were in Tuscany, we had all these crazy backdrops. It was beautiful. It's still a lot of work. I have such respect for talent and what they have to do and how they have to turn it on. But it's interesting because Regé really hit on something that I think is so important. That's the timeliness of a movie like this, right? Because you're right. There are a lot of people out there that said, you know, rom-coms are dead. People don't want to see rom-coms anymore. They're not going to the movies to see rom-coms. But the reality is that we need them now more than ever. We love to fall in love. We love to laugh. You know, the classic rom-coms that a lot of people in new generations haven't had. They have, you brought up classic films. You said Mahogany, like, I mean, that's like
Way older.
decades
now.
old,
It's
right?
okay, but it still hits.
Because the good ones do.
'Cause the
Because
good
when you
ones
get it
do.
right and you've got that natural energy and pairing, and then when you've got an element like the food, right? And there's
Yeah.
obviously a whole lot of parallels between, you know, cooking, food, passion, love, like all of that. When you get it right, it stands the test of time. So that's one thing that I think I'm really hopeful for this film is that it will be for an audience that maybe hasn't seen themselves in a rom-com like this.
Yeah, and also it feeds curiosity because like it does speak to the classics. It is a little bit of Roman holiday. I know that we're
Yes,
talking about that, where
yeah.
you are stepping into another world and you're curious about other people and you learn about other people and you find those missing pieces of yourself.
Yeah.
Because without getting too cheesy about it, the world is incomplete without love. You cannot understand each other unless you are willing to take yourself out of your comfort zone and fall in love with another who is not you, who has the pieces of you that might be missing or that might be broken or that might be cracked, that you would never find if you didn't just pay attention to people outside of where you live. I get a little bit cheesy with that.
No, I mean,
believe
you've
it.
already spoken of it. When I was getting ready for the interview, I was reading some of the things that you'd said, and you'd said that the draw between Anna and Michael is that they have hidden strengths that they see within each other. And I'd love for you both to talk about, you know, what your character sees in the other one kind of instantly that either draws them in or maybe not as quickly as they would like.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that makes Anna draw so closely to Michael's characters because he sees her and he sees this light and this passion within her. And even though she's trying so hard to hide it and push it down and like, no, I can't do that. It's gone away. No, I'm not doing that with my life. Because of how he's so focused and determined on his passions and what he has going for himself, he kind of pulls that out of her and makes her feel like, you know what, I could do this on my own. Like, this does make me strong. It is really beautiful that they pull it out of each other. And I feel like with Regé, it was very easy to do that with, I mean, I felt very safe with him on set. And he's very like, when he comes on set, he's very prepared. He's very serious. He's like, oh yeah, okay. I'm like, so I was like,
So
okay.
I walk on there and say, oh yeah, like
Yeah.
a Kool-Aid man.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be prepared too. And we just played off of each other in that way. And it was so fun.
Love that.
Well, I mean, it's the other half of that is that you allow yourself access to the parts of yourself that you may have blocks with. So for instance, we're talking about classics. I'm a big fan of Sleepless in Seattle, right? And like, I think there's an element of Michael's character to that because this movie isn't just about the romantic love between the leads. It's about family. It's about the people you love in your life and where responsibility lies with that. And so a lot of Michael's blocks are to do with responsibility. He's in this place where like, I am in charge of this family and I got to look after this and I'm not allowed to have fun. And I think that a lot of what you get in a lot of these classic rom-coms and romances is finding the person who unlocks the pieces of you that you are denying yourself.
Yes.
And I think that's what's really fun to play with my character was letting Halle's natural light and joy. And I was joking that her zodiac sign is Christmas. Like that is what this lady is. And just letting that in is the journey, the character journey that I went on. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's high comparison, but the minute you said it, I got it. It's the thing that we saw in Audrey Hepburn and Roman. It's the thing you can't describe, but it's so charismatic and it's right there and it's why folks fall in love with you. Another thing they fall in love with in this movie, and that's Tuscany. It's Italy. It's the extra character throughout, sort of as the backdrop. Will, talk about that, just making that, I mean, obviously the script calls for it, you, me, and Tuscany, but making that an extra character, really making sure you showcased that as a producer, making sure you secured the locations. Talk about how Italy became part of it.
I think one of the things that the four of us always talked about was that when this film works, it takes you to a place. That's the best thing about cinema. When it takes you somewhere, takes you out of your comfort zone, your echo chamber, your everyday life, right? Takes you to another world, forces you to whatever preconceived notions you may have, throw those out of the window. That's what we tried to do here. And take Halle's character, she's from Atlanta, living in New York, never really, as she says in the movie, never really been anywhere. And so we see this incredible backdrop through her eyes. She takes us on this journey. That was really so important for it to be another character, not just for her, but for our audience. We want the audience to come and take this journey because a lot of people may never travel and see those rolling hills of Tuscany that we got to shoot in. They're really beautiful. Of course, it's a perfect backdrop when you're thinking about somebody that is looking for love, whether they know that they need it or not, right? It's great when each of us can step outside of our comfort zones and open ourselves up to something new. That's what her character does.
Oh, I love that. And Kat, I'd love for you to talk maybe about what was your favorite Italy edition location, maybe somebody that you guys got to cast. You talked about you had a lot of very famous and established Italian actors. Yeah, what was your favorite Italy edition?
Well, we have a cab driver in the movie played by Marco Calvani. And when we were casting, it was a pretty tough role to cast because she has to land and become instant besties with this person. And we had watched the Four Seasons, and we saw this kind of luminescent Italian actor in that, and we hunted him down, and they had such a sweet bond. He was one of my favorite Italian additions. And then our location, we ended up shooting on a real family-owned vineyard.
Oh, wow.
Which I think gives a level of authenticity, but it was also great for research for us. We kind of lived in the space and understood what it meant to have this, incredible wine-producing land that had gone back in the family for generations. And I know, that informed Regé a lot too.
No, hugely. And also, I mean, we don't talk about it enough. The movie is tactile. Yeah. It feels like you can feel this world through the screen. And it does so much work for us, certainly myself and Halle, when you're picking grapes off the vine. The wood of the barrels is real. Those are real wine barrels.
What did you steal? I know you took some. Come on.
The odd grape. Small scale.
There's got to be a wine bottle that you had to nick or something.
Well, I mean, I think I gave a couple of wine bottles as
he
wrap.
gave out wine bottles.
Oh, gave out wine. Well, this doesn't sit with my agenda. You can't be. This is not charity.
Hey, you came into the wish fulfillment rom-com room. This ain't the agenda room. I'm so sorry.
I'll tell you something, Jack. I think there were times when these two didn't leave that vineyard, the family villa that Kat's talking about, because they had, their actors' quarters where they were supposed to be. There were times when they were the last to leave and the first to get there. I don't think they left. I'm just going to tell you that right now. I'm not sure that Regé and Halle actually left that family villa because it was very nice. It was very big and expansive. Nice. Well, they had their own places there. I'm not sure. I'm just saying. It was
mentally, I'm still there.
These are holograms.
What would you have wanted to take back from that time there if you could have? We wouldn't say that you did anything, if anything.
The sunshine.
While y'all are thinking of that, I want to remind everyone watching the webinar that you can, of course, submit questions to the chat, and then I will try to get to as many of those before the end of this. Now you guys are on the spot, though. What would you want to bring back?
Like, we were down the road from, the fields where Russell Crowe's run his hand through the wheat in Gladiator. Like, we were right there.
Facts.
We were right there. I went to that field.
That is a pull.
And so just like in terms of that escapism, you take that.
That's a good one. All right.
Those sunsets, though. You say the sun, like those, the sunrises and sunsets there. The scope, those vistas were incredible.
Did you get out? I tried to get Will running.
Yes. This is why he's an actor and I'm a producer. Because Mr. Regé would get up at 4 a.m. and
he's a
run
runner.
as the Italian sun rose
sunrises.
over those incredible, and he would be out there running and preparing, and I would be trying to sleep off the wine from the night before, going, "Tell me how it is, brother. It looks good from my room."
I also knew what you had me doing in the vineyard, and I didn't need to have us sleeping off the wine buddy.
I was about to say, I think this man, I saw that trailer.
Did you see the shirt off?
Thank you for the work that you did. I'm not saying that. That's too much. I'm glad that you were as diligent on your craft.
About the sunrises and the sunsets. We're in the rolling hills. I wasn't going to waste it.
We're going to bring
Ladies, you are welcome.
We're going to bring it to something very serious here, actually, because we are in Italy and you want to make sure that you can come to this incredible place, but also that you can leave it as beautiful for everyone else. I know that sustainability was a huge part of the production process for this film, as it is a part of Universal Pictures, their Greener Light initiative. Will, I'd love for you to talk a little bit about how sustainability was at the forefront of this production.
Oh, no question. I mean, we work in Hollywood, an industry that has had a mixed record, I will say, when it comes to sustainability, being green, thinking about the future. One thing about our partners at Universal that they do very well is they take that very seriously. So anything we could do to make sure that we left our footprint as minimal as possible and left the place better, wherever we were. And so because we were coming into a whole nother country with a whole nother culture, whole other land, we wanted to make sure that everything from what the cast and crew, drank on set, like the water bottles that they used, the food, making sure that we were recycling and resourcing local. All of that was thought about, every aspect. And so it was important, and that's something that Kat and I talked about a lot, to make sure that, okay, we're coming in and we want to showcase this amazing place, but let's not be like some Hollywood productions and you just come and take and give nothing back. We tried to give something back. We tried to do it in a sustainable way, and we tried to work by example, because you have a big crew, you've got a lot of things that you're bringing in, you got a lot of equipment, but every chance that we got, we tried to do it in a way so that we had as minimal an impact as possible. We did it in a sustainable way and a really eco-friendly way. It was really important.
And our on-screen presence, we follow the initiative Lights, Camera, Plastic, where we don't show any single-use plastic or unnecessary waste on screen. And we try to feature electric vehicles and things like that. It's imperfect, it's not perfect, but we do believe that what people watch, it influences their choices. And so the on-screen element of the Lights, Camera, Plastic is a huge part of this film as well.
I definitely know that. My wardrobe is built off of every movie I've ever watched. So I completely co-sign with that. I believe we are going to move to the webinar questions now. So this question is for Will or Kat. What inspired the name change from Italiana and why?
When you make movies, you always, there's a name going in. Very rarely is it the name that ultimately is released, right? And so the name Italiana, you still feel it in the film because, her name is Anna and it's in Italy. And so, there is a special dish that she makes, and you'll have to see the movie to see how that mashup, right? How that portmanteau comes to life. But then I think we were thinking and talking with the marketing folks about what we want this movie to evoke. And the idea of this character through her lens, and obviously she's the you, and Regé-Jean's character Michael is the me, and then it's Tuscany. And it kind of says everything you need to know. Here's the other thing, Jack. It actually, I think, harkens back to some of those great 90s rom-coms where, you knew what you were getting and it drew you in and you just wanted to come along for the ride. And so I'm hoping that audiences will feel that with our title.
I want audiences to literally walk out of the theater saying that. You, me, Tuscany, yeah, today.
Yes.
Done.
Yes.
That's it.
Let's kickstart some Italian tourism. Okay, last thing, we're about to get out of here. And as my namesake, I work for Fandango. It's a ticket company. We want folks to see stuff in the theaters. What is it about rom-coms where it's it's not just that you're going to watch it. You got to have the theatrical experience. Give us your pitch right now. I'm going to actually start with you, Will. You're the producer. I know you know about a tagline.
Easy, communal experience. That's why you go. You bring your girls, you bring your guys, you bring your boyfriend, girlfriend. You come to experience with others. That's the best version of a rom-com. That's why you go to theaters.
I think you go to theaters for the wide, gorgeous, sweeping shots of villas and sunsets and mountains, and you watch it with your friends.
Yeah, definitely to escape. I love going to the movies to escape, to get out of whatever world or stress I was thinking of and just throw myself into this beautiful story, and I can't wait for people to do it with this one.
You can't see the laundry when you're in the theater. I
Yeah,
just always think about that. It's
No
not
laundry in the
really
theater.
there.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's that full world immersion. It's what everyone said. It's that escapism. You want to go through the screen into the world that we painted for you so carefully and so lovingly. The fields are wide. The sunsets are stunning. The love is so much bigger when you share it with your friendship group, with the people that you love, when you get to see each other differently, when you walk out of the theater and know that we've had a great time. The biggest thing we talked about was putting joy forward on the screen. I don't think there are spaces that we get to go together that are very common where you get to go be joyful in a group. And I think if you want that space, that's what we're providing for you.
Well said.
And
there's one more thing, and this one is actually kind of serious. Until you see Regé with his shirt off on the big screen, you see nothing. You know nothing, okay? If nothing else, go see this man's abs on the biggest, widest format possible.
And
there you go.
on
You're
that
welcome.
note, that couldn't leave it in a better place. I want to thank the folks at Universal Pictures, my incredible panel, the cast and filmmakers behind You, Me, and Tuscany. And check out that trailer, everyone. You can watch it on repeat.